All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Right, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son. Shout out to the sister Mary of Bethany, right, that anointed our King with the precious ointments. And also shout out to our ancestors that chose death before dishonor, right, that was willing to die than to go against the Most High God and His laws and commandments, man. So shout out to them, and shout out, man. Shout out to the 12, man. Right, we waking up in the last days, right around the four corners of the earth. We coming back to our identity and realizing that we're not black. That's a color out of crayon box, and our skin is not black, and we're not African American or all these other names, Puerto Rican, Cubans, Dominicans. We are not these things that our oppressor put on us. Coming, opening up this Bible and starting to find out this is our history book, and we are the Israelites, God's chosen people that spoke about in the Holy Bible. Right? So then what we come, man, we coming to edify the Israelites, the chosen people of God, man. So today is Wednesday. So we're coming with a Wisdom Wednesday. And the title kind of dark. It says Bible scriptures to think about before you die, part 1. It's kind of dark, man, but it's much needed. It's much needed, especially in these times that we're coming in, when we know that the prophets before us and our ancestors before us was a lot of them was martyrs. A lot of them was put to death, for the laws and commandments. You can read about that chiefly a lot in First and Second Maccabees, when a lot of our ancestors died because they didn't want to go against the system, right? Or they died because they rather kept the commandments of God than to obey the system that was at place. I'm gonna put it like that. So we're gonna come into those times again. We're gonna have to choose to obey the Most High God, or a lot of us gonna die, in those situations. But Lord willing, this be a spirit booster, and boost brothers and sisters' spirit up, man. I know this be a hard thing to think about, in this walk, knowing that it may be your cup, that you may have to go through, like losing your life. So we're gonna touch on the man and boost brothers and sisters up through the spirit and power of the Most High God, man. So before we get into this lesson, gotta play the shofar. Gotta play the shofar. The blowing of the shofar. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High for the mighty blowing of the shofar. It's always good to blow the shofar, and it's always good to even hear the shofar, man. It's very spiritual. But like I said, today's lesson is based off, what I tell what, my bad. Bible scriptures to think about before you die. And what made me think about this lesson was I was listening to my one of my favorite artists, Santan Dave from the UK. He had dropped the album, I want to say like last month, called The Boy Who Plays the Harp, or The Boy Who Played the Harp. And he also got a song on the album called The Boy Who Played the Harp. And this is a song right here that I'm referring to in this video. It's a tight song, man. That's especially when you pay attention to the lyrics and what he was saying. It's a tight song. And something he said stood out to me. He said, I question what I'm alive for. He said, you can say you're alive. He said, can you say you're alive? That's a question. Can you say you're alive if you ain't got something you're willing to die for? And that's something to truly think about, especially us being in this walk. And we know that people that's not in this walk, just say people that gang bang and things like that, a lot of them be willing to die for their set. They be willing to die for those colors, to die for those blocks that they don't even own. So how much more us in this truth? Can you say that? Can we say that we're alive if we don't have something that we're willing to die for? Like, if we're not willing to die for this truth, can we truly say we in the truth? We can go out there and speak it. You know, we can wear the fringes. We can go out there, the camp, and edify the people. We can make videos over the camera. We can keep the feast days. But if we're not willing to die for what we believe in, can we say that we truly believe it? Or and are we truly alive? Do we truly have faith in what we believe in if we're not willing to die for it? You know, them Arab people over there, right? Them Arabs and East Indians, they'll die for their God. They go and blow themselves up for Ali Akbar. You know, they'll be willing to do that and blow themselves up for their fake idol gods. How much more us in serving the true living God, right? The God that created the heavens and the earth. Are we willing to die for him? Are we willing to die for the law, statutes, and commandments? Right? But let's get some scriptures. And the brothers got some, man. Y'all brothers can cut me off. I can't see y'all. We're gonna get Matthew chapter 10. We're gonna start at verse 28. And the first brother on the who gonna the brother Denal can start off reading first. We can go in that order. 10 to 28.
Is Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy the both soul and body in hell.
Right. So there's something to truly think about, man. You know, just say you finna get ready to die. Just say they got you in the FEMA camp and they got your head under a guillotine. These are scriptures that you can think about. You know, these scriptures that have in your mind, man, to meditate upon, to keep you sane during that time. He said this, you know, when they finna chop your head off and you may be kind of the spirit of fear maybe trying to hop on you, think about this scripture right here. Don't fear them. They killing your body. This is flesh. Well, it's deeper than just this flesh. You know, we are spirit. This is just like a shell. But the Bible said they can kill this. Either way, you know, a lot of people get old and die and they go in the grave and then they flesh, you know, starts to get old and the animals at the bottom or the insects at the bottom of the ground, they eat on the flesh. So it's like this is nothing. He said, but don't fear them. I mean, he said, don't fear those people that can do that to your flesh. He said, they can't kill your soul though, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. So he's saying you need to fear me. Don't basically what the Most High saying, you need to fear if you denounce my name. That's what you need to be scared for. Don't be scared of they finna put you to death for my name's sake. No, be scared if you denounce my name. What's gonna happen to you? You need to fear what I can do to you. Don't fear no man. They finna say, "Oh, we're gonna starve you, or we're gonna cut your head off. We're gonna torture you." Don't fear that, man, because it's just a body. But the Most High say, fear what I'm gonna do to you if you turn on me. Fear what I'm gonna do fear what I'm gonna do to you if you denounce me. Fear what's gonna happen to you. Think about that lake of fire that you're gonna get thrown into if you denounce the name of the Lord. You might as well go in and get that quick death. And you're gonna be sleeping anyway. It's gonna be, you know, as soon as you dead, that's it, man. You wait, because we understand that it's life after death. We understand that, man. So we understand if you've been keeping these laws and commandments and you've been faithful unto death to the end, yeah, they might kill your body. But you know when you know what you're gonna get raised up and what you're gonna get, what the Lord gonna bless you with for you being faithful and enduring, man. So that's only the beginning. That's the beginning.
You know, another way to put it, right, for young adults and older adults that may have their own house or something, right, and that struggle in the work field, you may not be scared to lose your job if you know you have another backup job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but you would be scared to lose your job if you didn't have a backup job. The Most High God is saying, hey, look, I got the power to give you eternal life. Don't be afraid of them firing you from your job because I got your back after they fire you from your job. But he's saying this, but if you are on my bad side, you need to fear both them and me, because after you fire your job, you're going to get evicted from your house. Because guess what? I'm not going to be there to give you another job. You're not going to have another job. That's what he's saying with this eternal life thing. He's saying, hey, look, you scared about them killing you, but that's only half of the battle. What happens after they kill you? You should be worried about that.
That's
Right? You
wrong.
should be worried about that, man. So a lot of times, we're spoiled because God has given us these great bodies. We can smell sweet smells. We can taste good things. We can hear good music. We can work out. We can experience different countries and different sensations like water and laying down with your spouse. And, uh, you know, you can do so much. You can give birth with these bodies. We love and idolize our bodies so much because they are a good gift from God, that we don't understand that, you know, we can't make this the end all be all, right? For an example, somebody, they may have a stroke or may have a car accident, left paralyzed, whatever, or somebody that's blind, they may be trapped in their body. They feel like they're trapped in their body. A lot of times, those people, they don't care if they die or not, right? Because they have lost some of the senses or some of the gifts that God gave them. But because we still have all of our senses intact, we're scared of death, right? Because we can do so much with these bodies. But the Most High God don't want you to choose your life over dying for Him. You got to understand, just like that person that's paralyzed, just like that person that's blind, just like that person that's a vegetable hooked up to a machine, how they're willing to leave this earth because they know this body's just a shell. You got to have that mindset even in your rightful state, and be able to, differentiate when it's time to die for the Lord, right? And when it's when you got to make that decision. So,
Mighty point, King. Mighty point, man. So can the brother get Revelations 2 and 10? The next brother.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and chapter 10. Chapter 2 and verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
So this can also go into, when they start throwing people in these FEMA camps, or not even just FEMA camps, just say it come a time where they be like, y'all can't teach the Bible no more. It's a crime. They pass a law. It's a crime for you to teach the Bible. Anybody y'all see teaching the Bible on the streets, throw them in prison, and we get thrown in prison, right? We got to have this mindset of we got to be faithful unto death, and we're gonna get a crown of life. So it's like the Most High God, it ain't like He's leaving us in the dark for us to think what's gonna happen if I die. Like what's gonna happen if I know I've been faithful to the Lord, but what's gonna happen if I die for Him? Will I get this, or will this happen to me? Like, where do I go? Is the Bible telling you? He's saying, if you faithful unto death, if you faithful unto death until it's time for you to die, or you might not even die, right? You might get to the point of you finna die. It may be a test or something, and the Most High, He faithful and He get you out. But sometimes people gonna have to die, and that's okay too. The Most High got some people that's gonna have to be martyrs, and some people that's not. But at the end of the day, what those two got to have in common is they got to be faithful unto death. Whether you die, whether you finna die, or whether they finna do it or you die, you got to be faithful until the end. Because He said that you're gonna get a crown of life. If you faithful, you're gonna get a crown of life. It's no point of being on fire for the Lord now, and then when it's time for you to die, or when it's time for you to get thrown in prison, you chicken out and you still out. Oh, I eat the pork. I tell you what's so and so hot in that. You turn on your brothers and sisters to still live. And it's so crazy because it's even more crazy when all hell has broken loose, and you have brothers in these FEMA camps or sisters in these FEMA camps, and they saving their life for crumbs. Cause yeah, you saving your life, but you saving it for crumbs though, because there's nothing out there for you. You see what the Most High God doing? He touching the earth right now. So it's like denouncing the name of the Lord to breathe or live another day, but at the end, when it's all said and done, you're gonna get thrown into that lake of fire. So was it worth it? Was it worth denouncing the name of the Lord for a meal? It wasn't. So he said, man, they throw you in prison or they try to kill you. You got to be faithful in death. A perfect example of people being faithful unto death. I think it was Second Maccabees chapter 7 with the Hebrew woman and her 7 sons. If nobody haven't read that, go to Second Maccabees chapter 7 and read about the Hebrew woman and her 7 sons. That's a perfect example of being faithful unto death. Be faithful unto death, you will receive a crown of life. So this is something to think about when you may be in prison already. You in there that you done been in there about 5 days. Now you kind of anxious. Now you kind of losing losing patience. You gotta think about these scriptures. I gotta be faithful. I gotta be faithful, man. Right? Our forefathers went through this. This ain't nothing new with me. They went through it. I'm gonna go through it. I gotta be faithful. I gotta be patient. I gotta wait upon the Lord. I know the Lord can deliver me out of this. But even if He don't deliver me out of it, I still gotta be faithful unto death. And you will receive that crown of life that we trying to get. This is what we in this truth, man. This is one reason why we in the truth. Because we want to receive a crown of life. We want the kingdom of heaven. We want that everlasting life. We want all of these things, man. And for us to get those things, sometimes we have to die. But that don't mean it's a bad thing, though. Let me get this. Was somebody finna say something?
Come, man. Once again, we've been spoiled, man. The Lord has given us the opportunity to start families and experience kids and birth and growing up and getting old. He's let us experience these things. And now a lot of us, we don't want to trade it back. We don't want to give it up. We don't want to give it back. Right. And we know that He has something better in store for us, but it's so hard to fathom, right? Because of this first gift that He's given us. But just to encourage you, if this feels this good to have this life, imagine what eternal life and the things He has planned for you will be on the other side of it all. So it can be scary, but you gotta keep it together, and you gotta have hope and faith. That's what this whole belief is based off of. It's hope and faith, right? And the hope and faith that there is more to come will allow you to give you that confidence to stand boldly.
Gotta stand bold, man. And that all goes with just that's why it's very important just to fast, man. It's very important to fast. It's very, 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 very important to fast and just truly just meditate upon the scriptures, because that's what's gonna build you up. What you doing now, what you're doing now determines what you're gonna do at the end. If you being lukewarm now, kind of going through the motions, ain't really reading like you used to, ain't really fasting, you don't really take it serious. And that when it's at crunch time, a lot of people gonna fold because they haven't been building themselves up now. But if you've been building yourself up now, man, you've been fasting, praying, seeking the Most High, building a relationship with the Most High, being sincere, giving charity, looking out for the widows and the fatherless, just things like that, the traits of the fruits of the Spirit. Then when that day comes, when you have to get thrown in prison or when you have to get persecuted, you're going to stand bold. You're going to stand bold, man, because you've been building yourself up. And something that Christ said that stood out to me, and I'm going to get it first. Before I say it, can the brother get this first? Psalms 116-15.
It's Psalms 116 and verse 15. It says, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of His saints."
He said, "Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of His saints." So I know a lot of times and they make death seem like a scary thing in movies and shows. When you see people die, they make it seem like it's a scary thing. But a lot of times, the Most High look at that as, can you understand? The Most High God is a man of war. The Most High God is a man of war. So when he's seeing one of his men, one of his soldiers dying for his name's sake, that turned him up. He's like, oh yeah, they faithful. Yeah, that's my soldier right there. I knew he could do. I knew she could do it. Yeah. That turns him up because a man of war likes those things. He like to see he like to see his children die for what they've been going hard for. But when they denounce him, when things get tough, it's like he it's an embarrassment. It's like all that work they was doing, all that Hebrew Israelite stuff they was talking about. Now when they finna die, now they going back calling this, I'm African American. That's embarrassing to the Lord. The Lord want to see his saints get put to death. That's honor. Death before dishonor.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like football coaches, basketball coaches. They may go through the whole season trying to make their team tough, right? Because maybe they feel embarrassed if their team gets punked by another team, or if another team plays more physical and out physicals them, right? But them same coaches, you let a fight break out on the court or on the field, and they team, kicking butt, right? And a bunch of people on their team get suspended. The coach, he kind of hate the fact that they got suspended, but he proud of his team for sticking together and kicking butt, right? He like, man, yeah, my boys ain't soft, my boys ain't weak, or my girls ain't soft, my girls ain't weak. It's the same kind of thing. Like, of course, the Most High God wants to see you live, but he's very proud of you that you standing up. So kind of,
man, you don't want to get to the end and find out it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? The Bible talks about this life that we live now is a shadow of things that are going to come. It's just a brief moment in time, right? One may live 100 years and think you've lived a long time, and the Most High God is saying that's only but a minute. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing compared to eternal life. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to fathom that sometimes when you think you're gonna live a long life and that you're blessed for, not thinking that that's just a blink of an eye to the Most High, right? But you don't want to make it to the end, and you didn't make it. You folded just to get to the other side, or see people on the other side that did endure and be like, dang, it wasn't even that bad. What was I scared for? You know what I'm saying? And we see that in many things, like when you talk about things that you need to go through tests for. Brother brought up sports, you go through preseason. Some people quit during preseason, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, preseason over with and the team having fun, and you quit and you in the bleachers thinking like, dang, man, I should have just stuck it out one more week. I would have been with them boys. We talk about fraternities, when you go to fraternities and you pledge in fraternities, you got a lot of people that quit and a lot of people that what they call cross the burning sands. And when they get to the other side, they always say, man, it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? And so same thing with eternal life, man. Same thing with your physical life and your spiritual life. You don't want to make it to the end and fold and realize it wasn't even that bad. Because that's all the Most High is really trying to say throughout the scriptures is you think you love your life right now, man, but you don't even know, man, like dying would be better than to stay in those bodies that you in, right?
Right.
So it's really not that bad, right? But we afraid of it because we're afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, man, and it really just comes to the trusting in the Most High, man. Just trusting the Most High, and I know that be a thing that go through all of our minds. Like, the truth is a beautiful thing, and we understand the blessings and the promises that's going to be given to us, Lord willing. But we also understand, the bitter side of it. Of you may see loved ones may get put to death, or you may have to get put to death. Sometimes that can be heavy on your conscience, and that kind of bring you down in the spirit. But we have to go we have to focus on what the Most High God said, right? We have to go take it day by day. Don't be so focused on those things or being a martyr, because you might not even have to be a martyr. You might not even have to go through those things, but you stressing yourself out over things that you may not have to go through, or you may go through it, like the brother Denal said. It may not even be that bad. The Most High, because matter of fact, before I say what I'm gonna say, can the brother read Matthew chapter 10 verse 19 through 20?
You still there, Baruch? You said Matthew 10, verses 19 and 20.
Come.
But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak.
So like you, the Most High said, well, yeah, he said, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak. Why is he saying this? Don't think of what you're going, and you're gonna have some brothers and sisters that gonna be thinking on something to say. They're gonna be meditating on something to say. And gonna be like, you devils, you wicked, I'm gonna kill you. Free me from these chains, I'm gonna kill. But they thinking about that. They thinking on something to say. That's how you know they're not moving in the spirit. The Most High said, don't think. Or Christ said, don't think, or have no thought. No, you don't have to meditate. Man, I wonder in that day what I'm gonna say. What am I gonna say? He said, don't do that. He said, for it shall be given you in the same hour what you shall speak. It's gonna be given you. It's gonna be spiritual. The Most High God can put a spirit on you to not even feel the torment. Like we know, we reading about the torments that our forefathers and foremothers received, especially the Maccabees. But how do we know that they felt these things? You gotta truly think about this. The Most High can put a spirit on someone to not even feel what they're going through. You know how much faith, you know how much strength I'm going to tell you. When you read about what I brought up about the woman and her 7 sons in 2 Maccabees chapter 7, ain't no way they endured that without the spirit of the Lord. And they was talking, the spirit was on them and having them say things, and they was talking even though they knowing they finna die. They just seen their brother just got that. What type of spirit is that?
Yeah,
like,
man,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, the Most High God, he can do anything, man. He can defy the odds. There are literally people born to this day. There's still people being born that have no pain receptors. They don't know what the sensation of pain is, and a lot of them, they accidentally burn themselves all the time. They accidentally break bones. They accidentally do a bunch of stuff because they can't feel pain. You don't think the Most High God can wire your body that way when he needs to? I know for a fact, like when I tore my ACL, I really didn't feel pain. I even tried to finish the rest of the basketball game. I know somebody in high school, he told me he broke his femur clean in half and he finished his baseball game because he didn't even know he broke his femur. So sometimes that's just on a carnal, worldly level. Like sometimes you so focused on something, you don't even feel the pain, right? So you don't think the Most High God, like Stephen, you don't think the Most High God can put you in a trance to where you're not even feeling what's being done?
Yeah, man. Most I can have it to the point where you clock. He can deliver. Before they get ready to torment you, he can remove your spirit out your body, man, and take you up.
Hey, I was gonna say, hey, it's been reported from a lot of people that had near-death experiences or people that die, like, when they get to that point, they say that your body feels like it's like the best it's ever felt in your life because the mind tells the body that it's finna die, and it just shuts off all pain and all different things in your body system, and you're in a euphoric state, almost like you're high almost. right? So it's been reported, a lot of people say that, and they say a lot of times that's why it's hard for people to fight death, because it feels so good. A lot of people that are in the ambulance or on their deathbed in the hospital or just got shot, a lot of them, they feel so good, it's hard for them to fight death, because their mind is telling their body to give up the ghost. So a lot of us, we scared, and we're scared because of the thought of what we think death is.
Right. You know, a lot of people, man, they get into that euphoric state, like the brother said, and that's why you see them in the movies and all that stuff. You know, they fighting. You know, they people shaking them, stay with me, and they constantly dozing off. Right, they constantly dozing off. But that's what the brother was talking about. That's the body's mechanism to ease you into that death. Um, and it's hard to fight it, man. It's hard to fight it. Imagine you being on like NyQuil or some strong sleep medication, man, and you trying to fight staying up. That's how it is. That's what they say. That's what they say it's like, right? So you might want to stay on Earth as long as you want to, but that's what it when it gets down to that. That's So if a person really fighting that, they hey look, they really feel like they need to be on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a hard thing to fight when it's your time.
Yeah, man. Our ancestors didn't fear death. They would some of them asked the Most High, Lord, just take me out of here, man. So
Plenty of times.
plenty of times. So they understood. We got to understand the concept of death, because it really is just you sleeping, man. You know what I'm saying? You really like you just sleeping for real. And I seen a video a while back. I actually tried to find this video. I could not find it. But it was this dude. This dude had died, right? He had died, but I think they brought him back to life at the hospital. But he was dead for a couple hours, and he woke up and he was like, man, he was mad, man. He was like he was mad that he had woke up, because he was like, it felt so at peace when he was dead. Like he couldn't explain it, but he's saying that he felt more at peace. He wasn't have to deal with this body, this flesh. But when he came back, he was like, man, now I got to deal with this again. So, he was upset. So I mean, that's the perfect example of what the brother was saying, man. It seems like it's sad, when you have loved ones or people that you knew that passed away. It could be a sad thing, but we gotta always remember, it ain't as bad as we think it is. You know what I'm saying? So when that day come, when some of us may have to be martyrs for the words of the Lord, just truly think of the Most High God's power and what He can do. So, King, can you get verse 20?
Verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
Right. So the Most High God said it's not us that speak; it's the Spirit of the Father which speaketh in you. So the Most High God gonna guide your words through the Spirit on what you speak, or even if He may not even want you to speak, but if you do speak, He gonna guide your words. What else? What else is He gonna be doing? Like, what else could He do for you if He gonna guide you? That means you might be on another level that you never felt before in the Spirit when you finna get ready to die. Like you may be speaking, and you're like, your mouth may be moving, but you're like, dang, what the world? Like the Most High, the Spirit speaking through you, and He got you saying stuff. Now you bold out of nowhere, and now you ready to die. Like the brothers in 2 Maccabees chapter 7, man, they were ready to die. Man, they were like, man, what? I think one of them that they cut his tongue out. I can't remember. I think he was
I think so.
I think one of them got their tongue cut out. He was ready, man. He was like, man,
I think one of them got their tongue cut out. One of them got all their arms and legs cut off. I think one of them got boiled in a pot. I think like they was going through some crazy stuff.
Man, going through some crazy stuff. And their mother, think about how the Spirit had to be upon their mom to be able to just witness that and endure that. Like she probably, if it was a normal day, her kids probably was going through that, she probably would have freaked out. But it's like the Spirit of the Lord was upon her. And like, what did you?
Too, like, I'm not gonna lie. If I see my kids getting maimed and dismembered like that, at that point, I'm like, it's so bad. I'm praying that they die. I'm praying that they get killed because that ain't no life to live after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Might well go in and get up out of here, man. But let me get this precept right here. Second Timothy chapter 4 and verse 7.
Book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 went away.
My bad.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse number 7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith.
Mm-hmm. Get verse 8.
Verse 8, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing.
So we want to have this mindset, man. You know, you finna get thrown in a FEMA camp, or you finna they finna try to torture you, whatever. Hey man, just think. I endured to the end. I got this far. Cause you gonna see brothers and sisters that you may have knew that ain't gonna make it that far. You gonna see brothers and sisters that's in the truth, that's right in that same jail as you, or that same prison, or that same FEMA camp as you. You gonna see them, they gonna be in a cell with you, right? And the police officer gonna let them out and take them to the little room and talk to him. The next thing you know, he gonna come back in there with you and get his stuff, and he's saying he finna get out. And you thinking like, dang, what you done said? What you done did to get out? You gonna have brothers and sisters like that you gonna be in there with, and or it may be a line, right? It may be they got you lined up they're in this door in this room, and they're in there torturing people. You gonna see a sister go in there, then she gonna come right back out. She crying. She gonna look at you. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. Just tell them that you'll do whatever. Just be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, brother. Don't do it, bro. You got a family that you gotta take care of. Don't do it. They gonna be walking out with a ice cream in their hand. The police, the Esau done gave him an ice cream and some gave him an ice cream and gave him some a burger. He eating an ice cream and a burger. So was it worth it? You denounce the name of the Lord for an ice cream cone and a burger, and you walking out. That's crazy. But when you in there, and you may be in the cell, and you seeing everybody else leaving because they sold out, you gonna have that mindset, I fought the good fight. I'm staying faithful. I finished my mission. I finished my mission. A lot of people ain't gonna be able to say they finished their course, because when it got serious, they left their course. They drifted off. They gave up. They sold out. I have kept the faith. Even when I'm thrown in prison, even when they finna kill me, even when they threaten my kids, even when they threaten my parents, I kept the faith. He said, henceforth there's laid up for me a crown of righteousness. Just imagine this. Just imagine they finna kill you, right? Just imagine the Most High God is looking down upon you. He already got the crown in his hand. He got the big gold crown in his hand by looking down upon you. He ready to give it to you. He ready to give it to you. And just say a person fold is like he putting the crown down. He putting it back down. Then another brother or sister come up, he picking one up, ready to give it to you. He ready to put it on your head. You got to endure that. You have to drink that cup. And it's a crown waiting on you. Rulership, dominion, peace is waiting upon you if you just endure what you got to go through. He said, not only for me, but unto all of them also that love his appearing. So now it ain't gonna just be me. Paul saying it ain't gonna just be me. It's gonna be the other brothers and sisters and children that stand bold. And don't even think. I know. Don't even think about. If you're a man, don't even think about your kids and what if my kids ain't gonna be able to. They're not strong enough, and what if they do this to them? What if they do that to them? Hey, think of if the Most High God can put a spirit on you, how much more your kids, man? Most High God can put a spirit of boldness on your kids that you never seen before. You like, dang, what? That ain't my child. It's like the Most High God can do that, but we don't think about these things in fear of what could happen. Think about who the Most High God is and what He can do, man. And that's gonna keep you sane. Let me get this scripture right here.
Come on, man. Also know that whatever God wants to happen is gonna happen. I know people through people, right? But actual people, friend through a friend, man through a man, family friends. But now I know people on this earth that have been shot in the head and are still living.
Yeah.
So that lets you know if God wants you to live, brother, it don't matter what they do to you, you're gonna live. If it's your time to go, it don't matter what you do to fight it, it's your time to go. So at the end of the day, it's just submission to God's will. And you got to have faith that you did enough works before, you leave this earth like Paul did. Paul had confidence that he was getting the crown.
Good point, man. And it be, and that separates really the people that's really being sincere and the people that's not really being sincere, man. If you kind of iffy about it and I don't know if I'm going to do it, you maybe haven't been doing a lot for the Lord, man, or doing enough. You know that you can do more for the Lord. You kind of been slacking when it comes to the Lord. So when you think about these things, kind of like, nah. But, if you know that you've been doing your best for the Lord, it may still be a little nervous, but you got a kind of sense of boldness, like, I done did my best. Whatever happened, I know I done did my best so far. But can the brother get Psalms chapter 23 and verse 4?
The book of Psalms chapter 23 and verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Yeah, man. So think about these things. When you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, just say they bring you in front. Picture this. They bringing you. They got you. You know how they have you on the movies, or they have it on movies. They put like a bag over your head, right, and they tie you up. They drive you somewhere. You don't know where you going. Then when you get there, they take the bag off, and you looking around. A whole bunch of elites. They sitting around in this place, and they got glass in front of them, kind of like the Hunger Games. They looking at you. You can see them looking at you, but it's like glass. And you kind of nervous, like, hold on, what the? You see the Rothschilds and all of them, and Donald Trump and all of them. They looking at you, drinking some blood. That can be kind of scary to a lot of people, but that's like in a sense kind of a shadow of death. But he said, I will fear no evil though, for thou art with me. Remember, you gotta truly remember, man. It's all of them, but the Most High God with you though. The angels are with you. We have to remember that and don't think carnal. If you thinking carnal in that time, you gonna fold. If they get you in there and you are already thinking carnal, you're gonna fold. You have to think spiritual and keep your mind. Colossians 3 and 2. I think when he said keep your mind on things above. I think that's what Colossians 3 and 2 say. We have to keep our minds focused on things above. Cause that's gonna keep you going. Yeah, Colossians. Oh, can the brother get Colossians 3 and 2?
Colossians 3 and verse 2. Set your affection on things. So like, I'm gonna read that again. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth.
Right. So the Bible said, man, set your mind on things above. Set your mind on the promises. Set your mind on the kingdom. Don't be focusing on worldly stuff, stressing out, panicking over things on this earth. Keep your mind focused on things above, man. Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. It's gonna be hard if you already. It's gonna be hard if you was a vain person, a carnal person, to try to get yourself thinking spiritually in that time. It's gonna be hard, nearly impossible. But if you already was a spiritual person, you already been meditating on things above, you ain't gonna have to get ready because you already ready. Your mind is in the right place. But let's get I know I've been speaking on the Maccabees. I ain't gonna get a lot in the Maccabees. I want a couple scriptures out of there.
Yeah, man. You know, a lot of people they're okay with dying for their country, to be a war vet. You know, they're okay with, I'm dying for a good cause. I'm saving some people back home in my nation. They're okay with dying for their nation, right? Some people, they're okay with dying for a reputation, right? If I do this, I'm gonna look like a weak Negro. I'm gonna look like a snitch if I do it. I gotta go out swinging. At least they'll know I'm an OG. At least they'll know I'll be a legend in these streets. You know, a lot of people risk their life, like the brother Obadiah said earlier, for colors, flags, and street corners,
Military,
right? And so the thing is this, bro. If as a people we can wrap our mind around dying for something like that, man, you know how much power you have on this earth when you're willing to die for your Lord, your God. Oh man, that's terrifying to people. Like the brother said, like people are terrified of Iraqi, Iranian, Afghanistan. Like people are terrified of people from the Middle East, right? The first thing they think of when they see one is bomb, right? That's the first thing they think of because they know them people don't play about their God. That's terrifying. So we got to be the same way. We got to be terrifying for our God. That's the only way people will take us serious. And that's the only way people will take our God serious.
Yep. They see that we serious about our God, they gonna be serious about us and our God. But can the brother read 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 30 through 31?
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 30. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that hath the holy knowledge that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in body by being beaten, but in soul am well content to suffer these things because I fear him.
Right? So he said these things, right? You think he said this from his own mouth? Nah, the spirit was upon him and guided his words, man. Keep going, Hakeem.
Verse 31. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation.
Right. So this is what we got to think as well, too. If we got to die for the Lord, do we want to, just say they got us in the room, right? And they got, your family in front of you watching you and the kids watching you. Do you want to set a bad example for them that may have to go through that same thing after you? Because if you fold, they may fold because you fold. So you got to think about them as well too, not only yourself. Think about them, and think about keeping your name blameless. Because you don't want to denounce the name of the Lord. That's gonna bring a bad name upon you. That might even be talked about in the kingdom. Hey, bro, you remember so and so? Yeah, man, bro, tripping. We don't want to be like so and so. So, but you know what I'm saying? That could be something that talked about. You don't want to be talked about on the bad end of the stick of how you folded and you were scared and shaking and crying, and you know what I'm saying. I want to be bold for the Lord, man, and think about other people that coming after you. I think it was Was it?
Gotta have that mindset like the three Hebrew boys too, man. Like when they told King Nebuchadnezzar or King Darius, the king of Babylon, whoever it was, when they told him like, look, whether we live or die, we're gonna serve the Most High God. You know, He got the power to save us, and even if He doesn't, we're still gonna serve Him, right? That's the mindset you gotta have. There's only one entity that has the power to save me, and it's up to Him whether He saves me or not. So there's no point in me stressing, but I'm gonna keep serving that entity that got that power.
Yep. Can a brother get 2 Maccabees 7:36?
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 36. For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life, but thou, through the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for thy pride.
So we understand that these people that's doing it, that's gonna do this to a lot of our people, they're gonna receive punishment. They ain't gotta worry about that. They're gonna get that judgment. For he said, for our brothers who have suffered a short pain. Now you thinking like they went through all of that, and you saying a short pain? He said they are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life, man. So, even though they went through that short pain, that temporary pain, they were under God's covenant of everlasting life, which goes back to receiving that crown of everlasting life. Brothers knew this. Man. They understood they was going to receive if they stayed faithful, and they didn't love their lives, man. They didn't love their lives. They didn't idolize the things of this world. If you idolize the things of this world, if you idolize money, if you idolize women or men, if you idolize cars and clothes, if you idolize overeating, you love food and things like that, it's gonna be hard for you to die. Because you love these things. You love the cares of the world, the lust of the eyes. But if you don't love these things, it's gonna be easier for you to die. Because you didn't truly love these things like that. A lot of these brothers and sisters understood these things, understood life more than how we understand it now in today's time. They understood it more.
Yeah, that's why the Most High God sometimes, man, you may be praying for a lot of possessions, whatever it may be, and the Most High God may cut that in half. Like you was praying for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, and the Most High God gave you a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, because He know that you might fall in love with possessions. You might not want to give up your house. You might not want to give up that car. You might not want to give up that job. So the Most High God, you know what He do? He put a halt to it and give you something else, right? Why do you think the King Hezekiah was begging for his life? The Most High God sent a prophet and said, Hezekiah, on your deathbed, he's like, man, you're not going to make it to the next morning. Hezekiah was like, hold up now. Hey, please tell God. He told the prophet, please tell God, hey, look, I can't praise you from the grave. I got so much I got to do. Hey, look at me. Hezekiah was like, remember all the stuff I did in your name. I did a lot of good works in your name, and the earth know you because of me, and then, God granted him 15 more years. But, to Obadiah's point, Hezekiah was begging for his life because he was a king. He had so many great possessions. He wasn't ready to leave the earth. Right. So, of course, he's going to beg for his life. But a lot of the people that gave up their life for the Lord, for example, like Christ, they didn't have a house to sleep at. They didn't have somewhere to call home and lay their head. They didn't have money in their pockets. They live like the foxes. They live like the pilgrims. They live like the he goats before the flock, man. And that's why they were able to do mighty acts. But
all of these men were, going back to the 7 sons, they were just like us, man. Don't look at them and think, oh, they had some type of superpowers, or they was just immortal, or whatever. They were just like us. Only, they were just like us when they had faith, and the Lord put a spirit upon them, and then they endured to death. So if He did that for them, how much more He doing that for us as well too, giving us a spirit, putting a spirit upon us to endure all those torments that they may try to throw at us or do to us. But it's the last scripture. Can the brother get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, starting at verse 1 through 9?
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
So like he said, verse 2 said, in the sight of the unwise. In the sight of the unwise, right? When we die, just said you have to be a martyr for what you believe in. In the sight of the unwise, that seems like misery, and it seems crazy to them. Because it's like they looking at it like, what? They chose to die rather than eat some bacon? I would do that freely. If they asked me to do that to live, what? They let their kids get tormented because they didn't want to denounce their God or denounce whatever? That's crazy. They don't love their kids. Wow, they died so horribly. That was so sad, man. They look at it as miserable or misery. But he said, you get verse 3. I don't think you read verse 3.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
So it's like they look at it as destruction when you have to go through what you go through. They look at it as destruction, but they don't understand that the people that went through these things are at peace. Once your spirit leave your body, you are at peace, man. I ain't telling nobody to go commit suicide, nothing like that. I ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying? The Most High God didn't encourage that. But when it's your time to go, and the Most High God take your spirit out your body, you are more at peace, man. You are at peace when they thinking that you going through it and you in hell, or it was a terrible, you going through it. You are at peace. But you keep going, King.
For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
So though we getting punished in the sight of men, right? Though even right now on this level, right now on the small level, you getting persecuted for trying to keep the Sabbath. Your family getting upset with you because you don't want to come to Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. You getting punished like that right now, but it's gonna come a time where it's gonna get, it's gonna get physical, and they start trying to kill you and try to cut your arm or cut one of your fingers off. For though we get punished in the sight of these people, we understand it's hope full of immortality, full of peace, full of comfort in New Jerusalem in the kingdom to come. You keep going, King.
And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For God proved them and found them worthy for himself.
So he's like, man, what you go through, that little chastisement can't even compare to the reward that you're going to receive. And it's a proven period. It said, for God proved them. That's still part of you getting, that's still part of you going through the fire. The Most High God is literally proving you during that period of persecution to see it. Are you worthy for this crown? Are you worthy for this peace or immortality? He said he found them worthy for himself. Or you keep going, King.
As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. Mm-hmm. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Mm-hmm. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect.
Right, man. So the Most High God he has care for his elect and the saints, man. He always gonna look out. He always gonna look out. He always gonna make a way. Rather it seems like no way, he gonna make a way. We just gotta be faithful until the end. You on mute, Azrael.
I was singing a song that verse reminded me of.
Oh, come. But yeah, man. All praise to the Most High for this lesson. This all I have for tonight. Lord willing, I can come with a part 2. Probably, I don't know if I'm gonna do it next Wednesday. I guess it's whatever the Lord put on my spirit. If you want me to come back next Wednesday with a part 2, I have some more scriptures, probably more examples of people being faithful unto death. But all praise to the Most High, and we'll see y'all, Lord willing, Friday. The brother Azrael, God is my help, will come with a lesson Friday. Any brothers have something to say?
Oh man, mighty lesson, man. Good exhortation. It's always good to go back and put ourselves in that mindset every now and then, just so that we don't get lost in the cares of life.
Because it's very easy. It's very easy to get caught up in this life.
Because the older you get, man, the more time you spend on this earth, the more you gain, the more experiences you have, the more possessions you gain. So the older you get, man, the more that you want to live, right? So it's very easy, like the brother said, to get caught away with the cares of this life. So we got to always, every now and then have lessons like this to, remind us what it's all about.
And I always remember, man, these cares of this life, the things that we like and we desire, all of it is going to be taken away. All what our forefather Solomon said, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. All of these things are vanity, man. These things that we love and want to desire and give to our kids, all of these things are vanity. Even if you got a business, that's vanity too. Because, soon, one day, you're going to pass away. And all that stuff that you accomplish really ain't going to mean nothing to you because you're going to be gone. So, like, you put your time in these things, and it's like, and you're going to pass it down. You don't know if you're passing it down to a person that's going to do right or wrong. So keep that in mind, man. But all praise to the Most High, man. We'll see y'all Friday for a Freestyle Friday, man. But until then, keep the faith, don't fold, and stay bold for the Most High God and His laws, statutes, and commandments. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.